I mean, to be fair, it is just a technical end game. If I were white here, I'd be in deep concentration, looking for any prospect at all.
It's just that compared to the other games, it's
it's a bit dull. So I think it's question time.
So Samir Karandikar,
yep,
he wants to know if the top grandmasters in the world were to get drunk and play chess, would we say more fighting play between them? I think we would certainly would see more fighting. Fighting play, I mean, well, maybe.
Have you seen grandmasters fighting before? Yeah, I've seen, yes. I've seen grandmasters fighting.
Yeah, it has happened.
Yeah,
and but yeah, I don't know. How drunk can you be to play and still play a decent game?
Well, that's a good question. There are a lot of stories about people playing under the influence, and I do not doubt that some people have played successfully under the influence. The problem is it's a bit like those gamblers who, you know, they tell you they've gone to the casino and they have won. And they never tell you about all the other times that they have lost. And it's like that with being completely blottoed.
I mean, you're gradually coming to your advice. If you can choose, don't do it.
Yeah. So alcohol is definitely bad for your chess.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to improve it. I mean, it may look like it improves, but that's only to you. So, I must say I've sometimes seen players late at night or in the early morning that I couldn't imagine that they would still be alive the next day, let alone play chess. And there they were. Yeah. But
okay, that was booze. That was booze.
And there's Robert Musil, who probably is...
Robert Musil, der Mann ohne Eigenschaften.
Yes. He's writing from Austria.
Showing
so,
I know my classics.
Yeah. How long did it take you to finish it? It's one of those great books that very few people have read. Yeah, he has a question related to great chess players and their difficult relationships to cars.
Cars,
so
yes.
Fischer, Spassky, Anand.
Spassky drove.
He drives.
Yeah, of course. Drove. Yeah, he certainly drove.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't he get by a Land Rover after the 1972 match? I think he did.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah, and he had problems with it because it was British manufacture in those days. Now, of course, Land Rover is a good old Indian firm, and things are much better.
Yeah. Well, sometimes the winners in Linares would get a Jeep, or was that also a Land Rover?
No, it wasn't a Land Rover. It was a Japanese something.
Suzuki something.
Yeah.
I remember, well, Ivanchuk won it, and then...
Of course he couldn't drive. He has a license, you know that.
Yeah. How much did it cost?
Well, that was the... I heard the story about Ivanchuk and his driving, that he'd gone for his test, and the driving, the examiner who knew him, after the test, he said, look, Vasily, I will give you your license on one condition, that you promise never to drive. That was it. So, yeah, they do things differently in different countries.
Yep.
I know countries where it's the norm to buy your license. Is that like Netherlands?
And there was some, well, this was also an example from of divine, how do you say, interference?
Intervention.
Intervention.
Yeah. Sorry.
Divine intervention. Yeah. That Vasily Ivanchuk, he won this Suzuki in Linares. They put it on a train, and of course it never reached its final destination, fell off the train,
Right.
which was probably
Just as well.
just as well.
Yeah.
So what's the idea here, Nigel? So he's going to
Shuffle around and take his H-pawn. He just wants to avoid... You're basically trying to coordinate your pieces when you're white.
Yeah. We got another letter from Armenia. It's actually the same sir who wrote this to us day before yesterday.
Yep.
About Tigran Petrosyan, and he
Yep.
said, "Let me disagree with your last phrase. He was the first among equals," as you put it. Obviously, it's underestimation. The 9th chess world champion was not the first among equals. Otherwise, he could not win the title twice. It's so trivial, says Aram Shismanian. I got a point.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should never argue with Armenians. That's basically...
definitely not about Petrosyan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we'll accept that.
Yeah. Then there's a question from Bruce Monson, who is a chess historian, great chess lover, chess historian.
Okay.
He says, "Does anyone seriously think today's players are really superior to the Karpov of the early 80s? Might not computers be harmful in some ways?" Wait, are we getting to the next?
Look, I think the general standard of chess is definitely higher, but if you...
I should finish this. I mean,
finish the...
It says, doesn't the journey, let's say, burning the midnight oil, account for something really important that players today don't experience like they did in the days of yore? I mean, that you had to go through the entire experience, build up experience. And
Was Karpov ever one for burning the midnight oil?
No.
With backgammon or something?
Card games.
Card games.
Yes.
Adjournment analysis. That's
He had some people for that.
He had some people for that. I don't think. Look, Karpov was a great player. I think underestimated as.
Yeah, that's what we talked about before. That he's probably one of the great champions of all time.
Yeah, but and I think also that if you take some individuals. They're just fantastic players, full stop, and they would not be at all out of place in today's tournaments. I just think the average standard is higher. There are more stronger players. That would be my view.
Yeah.
On things.
Well, let's not forget that Anatoly Karpov has played chess. Well, he still plays chess, and you can see that he's still a very nice player.
Yeah.
And on a good day, particularly the quicker formats, I mean, then he's just very, very impressive. Which leads, is this... What's happening here?
It's got to be a draw. It's got to be a draw.
So you can take and you can sacrifice the bishop, or is that too rash?
Not immediate. Well, after a7, you can just go behind. But you can take on h3, and
then if you
and then it just continues.
Yeah. And here's a question from Dan Pascal.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, he's got this move. No, I completely failed to spot that at this point.
That's a useful one.
Does that work? Because he's got bishop h2 check. That is the sneaky thing. I failed to... I showed this variation before, and I was explaining that this was no good because of rook d1. But thanks to the interpolation of these two moves, he has bishop h2 check.
Yeah.
And that is a dead draw.
Yeah. I'll quickly mention the question that we got from Dana Pascu, because we ignored it a couple of days ago.
Oh, sorry, Dana.
No, she says, I'm writing on behalf of the women's community of chess players and would really like to know why you are avoiding the topic of men versus women playing levels. There was a commentary today and also a question from a spectator that was deliberately ignored. So she wants us to address this.
The reason I don't go there is because
no matter what you say, people misquote you.
Well, that's it. You know, and I've been rather severely criticized for various things.
Yeah, so that is, but in fact, Dana, we will talk about women's chess tomorrow, because I can announce that tomorrow we will have a guest by Skype at 6:30 in the evening.
Yeah.
We will, or perhaps a bit earlier.
And she can play chess, apparently. That's
we will have a lady guest who.
You shouldn't use the words like ladies. That's supposedly sexist, isn't it? You know,
what do we say, man?
Woman.
Yeah,
that's it.
In any case, we are very pleased that tomorrow Judith Polgau will join us from Budapest in Hungary, and we will speak with her about various matters. And yes, if you have any questions for her about women's chess or whatever, just send them to us, and we'll be happy to ask them to Judith. And I think this game has come to an end. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Although
there are mating positions, why did they allow them to agree a draw there?
And before they come here, I will tell you what we can expect tomorrow when there is a reprise or an addendum to the World Championship match.
Look at this. This is a forced variation.
Wow. Tomorrow there will be Magnus Carlsen against Sergei Karyakin, which might have such a nice pairing in the penultimate round, had it not been for the fact that Magnus Carlsen is totally out of form and is on -2. We have a proud leader, Levin Aronian.
With MVL, isn't he? So he's ninth to 10th place. Is that right?
Yes, and then there's Levin Aronian, the leader. He's playing Vishy Anand.
He's playing very attractive chess.
I think that
I might not agree with the Armenians on Tigran Petrosyan, but I can tell you,
on Levin
is pretty
and I think that
good.
If he wins tomorrow, he might already win the tournament. That's possible.
Yep.
Well, we have Vladimir Kramnik, who had a very nice game against the world champion today, and made us forget about his off day 2 days ago.
Yeah.
He's playing against Maxime Vachier-Lagrave.